Welcome to the Grow Your Law Firm podcast, brought to you by Pilma. This podcast helps lead lawyers to more growth, profit, and freedom. Here is your legal marketing expert and host, Ken Hardison.
Well, hello everyone, this is Ken Hardison and welcome to another episode of Grow Your Law Firm. And today we have Ammon Collins from Utah, if I remember correctly. Good morning, how you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm doing well, thank you, Ken. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and Ammon is he's in between a wrestling. He's a high school wrestling coach on the side, I guess, and that's to be commended. But Ammon started his entrepreneurial journey after his car broke down one day, and he called several auto shops during business hours looking for a quote. His call was missed by the first three auto shops, so he went to the fourth one and answered. They were the ones that got his business. And after this experience, he decided that missed calls were a problem for small businesses and started coming up with a solution. So that is how we get here today. So, one thing I tell lawyers is intakes are so important. In fact, I started my own ghost call company. And the reason one of the things I look at is just not how they answer the phone and do the intake, but how many rings is it before they answer the phone? And of course, if you got no answer, that's a missed opportunity. And if you miss, let's think about it. If you miss 2 calls a month and your average fee is $10,000, that's $250,000 a year. So that's one of the reasons I wanted you on the show today. I want to talk about your company and this, how you got, of course, I just told them how you got in it, but tell about, it's called Get Inca, Getinca.
Yeah, that's our website. Inca was already taken, so the name of the company is Inca. The website is Get Inca, Getinca.
INCA. So tell us a little bit about this. What is this? I guess it's a software, and tell me all about how it works and what the benefits are and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I think in the previous phone call that you and I had together, we were talking about something about with phones or something, and you mentioned to me that like the phones are your ATM, and I believe that 100% too. I mean with intake, intake is everything. That's where it all starts. That's the first impression and everything. So what our software does is basically allows you to write out a text message that will be sent out automatically if somebody's call is missed. So you can have a different text message go out for after hours, different ones for during hours, all that. But a lot of the time life just gets busy and your secretary's on the other line with somebody else and you're helping a client or whatever, and a third person calls. We've all had those days. So what our software does is as soon as it recognizes the call is missed, it'll send the text message that you've already written out to whoever called. And what we've noticed is that there's a much higher engagement with people texting back than with people leaving voicemails. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly what the statistics are of voicemails being left now versus when they were 10 years ago. But from what we've seen, it's less people wanting to leave voicemails just because they have so many options now right on their phone to just go to the next business. So our system is designed to just engage them more than a voicemail would and give you a second opportunity to be able to communicate with that customer.
Okay. So what if somebody calls and then right when you answer, they hang up? That's not going to count, right?
Right. Yeah. It would just be a missed call that would count for it. What our system also does too, we work with a pretty large personal injury attorney firm here in Utah, and they have it set up too to where as soon as somebody calls, a timer will start. And if they don't answer the phone in 60 seconds or whatever, then a text message will be sent out to that person, but the phone will still keep ringing. So they have a call center set up, but sometimes they just get a pretty high volume of calls. So if somebody's on the phone for 2 minutes before their call gets answered, they'll get the text, a minute into the call, but their calls still keep going. So they get that text, and in case they want to hang up and call later, they at least have that message from you. The nice thing about our software too is you don't only have to use it for texting people whose calls you miss, you can use it for texting. Your whole team can use it for texting just current clients and everything. It's a full texting platform.
So as a full text, so they can use their desktops to receive and send out texts, or just send out texts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to receive and send out text. So if I'm working in your law firm and I'm sitting at my computer and we're using Inca, anytime a text message comes in from a client, it'll just make a little noise on my computer screen. I'll see a little notification that I have a new message, and I can go right into the software and respond to that text message.
So you get, I know this is pretty much a startup, and that you've got some lawyers. The lawyers that you've been working with, has any of them shared the information of how many calls that this is helping them, that they're sending out texts from missed calls every month?
Yeah, so we actually have an analytics tool with our text messaging that tracks how many people respond to the calls that are missed. Without getting too specific on names and stuff, one of the firms that we work with, they didn't think they were missing any calls. They thought maybe they were missing 2 or 3 a week, but they did an audit on their calls for a week, and they found out they were missing about 10 to 15 a day. So once we put this in place, and they were able to actually track how many calls they missed, because our system will track how many calls you missed, and it also tracks how many people respond to the text messages that are sent out. The response to the text messages is over 80% for most of the companies we work with. So if you think, it's usually less than 80% of people that you miss their call, they'll leave a voicemail. 80% of people that miss their call, they're responding to that text message.
So this firm that was missing 10 or 15 a week, was that a PI firm, or was that a domestic or criminal?
It was a PI firm. They work with, they do some other areas of law too, like real estate and stuff like that, but it's mainly PI. Yeah. So, and I mean, it's exactly what you said. You kind of have to look at what, it's kind of a numbers game. Do the math on your business, and if your average client brings you X amount of dollars, and let's say you miss 1 or 2 every month, or 2 months to a missed call, if you can secure that revenue, I mean, it's a pretty good investment. So
I know our listeners are wondering, well, this sounds great, but I wonder if I can afford it.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to kind of back up a tiny bit, you mentioned that I had the issue with my car, and that's kind of how I got into this. That's kind of how it started. I noticed that sometimes I'd call around for a service or whatever, and I just wouldn't get through to anybody. The company that I was working for at the time, they had a similar software system, but they only sold it to dental offices. And with their system, you had to buy new phones to get the missed call text thing that we're talking about here. So if you wanted your phones to send out a missed call text message, you had to actually buy a brand new phone system with them. And to me, that seemed like a lot of work, because changing out your phones is a pretty big hassle. So our normal price point is only $99 to $200 a month. That's our average price point. Most firms fall within that range. And then we don't have to install any new phones. You can keep all your current phone system, no new hardware. You don't have to install anything on your computer. And so that's our price point. The other thing I wanted to mention too is, a lot of firms, like now, they're using, 24/7 call answering and stuff like that, which is a really good idea, and I fully support that. That's typically more expensive than what we do. But also the other thing to consider is, if you're having the 24/7 call answering, you still might miss calls, and you could have people on the line just waiting that don't want to wait for somebody to answer the phone, and maybe the wait's too long. So this can still help in those situations, as well as just texting current clients and everything.
So will this work on voice over internet phones as well as landlines?
Yep, every phone that we work with.
So
we even have
Ring Central, Advantage, and Nextiva, and all those different ones.
Yeah, we have mobile phones, VoIP, everything.
Now, I remember talking to you law firms want the first business. I mean, you started selling this to other types of business to start with, and I guess maybe I heard dentists. Though, have you done dentists?
Dentists we haven't really done, because dentists, a big thing that dentists look for is like a automated reminder system to work in with, because their customers are, a dental customer is coming in for repeat visits and stuff.
Right.
So to work with dental offices, you have to integrate with all their different practice management softwares, and it's kind of a pain, and that's what makes it more expensive for dentists. The reason we're able to keep our price so low is because we don't have to do any crazy integrations. But we did actually start out with hair salons. Hair salons were our first customers. We worked with hair salons and chiropractors, and then once COVID hit, I was, and they closed down all the hair salons. I was thinking we have to find another, we got to find another market to work with. So that's kind of when the lawyers came into the picture.
Yeah, cool deal. Well, yeah. So I guess the benefit is obvious. I mean, anytime you miss a call, you miss the possibility of a case. So I think it's pretty straightforward. And I think I don't know what I am not a techie by any means. As you know, I couldn't.
Neither am I, Ken. Neither am
I couldn't get into our first Zoom meeting we were supposed to do earlier this week to do this podcast, and if I'd been a techie, I'd figured it out. But I just gave up. I said, we'll just do it another day. But yeah. So if somebody wants to get up with you and try this out, another thing, do you require long-term commitments, or is this something that because you got a lot of setup, or is there a setup fee, or if there's not a setup fee, is there some kind of deal where you got to at least do a year commitment or something? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's just real simple, just 10 years up front. No, we don't actually have any contracts. We have a pretty good policy. We just tell you, if you don't make more money with our service than what you spend on it, we actually refund your money as well. So we don't have any contract, and then the setup fee, depending on how complicated your phones are. If it's a real simple setup, then we usually can do like just like a $50 setup fee just one time. It's pretty simple. If it's a more complicated phone system, we might do like a $100 setup, but pretty simple for the setup, since it's it's usually pretty easy. It usually only takes 20-30 minutes to set everything up for you. Like I said, you don't have to download anything. You don't have to change out any of your phones. So it's really easy to set up. It's something that you can call us. We can walk you through some of the process, and then we can get you started before the afternoon. So
cool.
Real simple.
Well,
but yeah, no contract. I don't like contracts. I don't think anybody really does. So we thought, if somebody's making money, they're going to stay with us. If they're not, then they're not, and nothing we can do to change that. So
yeah, I've always been of that same mind thought process. Everything I do with Pilma is 100% money back guarantee, and I've always done that, because why do I want your money if I'm not helping you? Because all you're going to do is talk crap about me or sue me or all this stuff, and I don't need it. And we've been very blessed. I think in 11 years we've had one lawyer's asked for the money back, so I feel pretty good about that. That's been really good.
Yeah, we actually haven't had any law firms cancel with us. We've had maybe 2 or 3 cancellations total this year, but none of them were law firms. They were for different reasons. Just it wasn't working out with their practice.
Right.
But all the law firms have been great with it.
So if somebody wants to talk to you or inquire more about this great new technology, how can they do it?
Yeah, it's a fantastic technology. I think that anybody that tries it out, we do a trial period as well. So anybody that tries it out, I think is going to love it. The best way to get in touch with us is to go to our website. It's just getinca.com. So it's getinca.com. And then there's a contact form that you can fill out, or we even have a calendar on there. About halfway down the page, we have a calendar. You can just schedule a time and it'll send you a link for a Zoom meeting like the one we're on right now, and you can put it on your calendar for whenever works for you, and we'll just talk to you then.
Well, good deal, my friend. Good deal. And keep up with me. Let me know how this thing's going. I'd like to know.
Yeah,
I'm kind of intrigued. When I talked to you that first day, I was intrigued with this. I said, I remember back in '97, I was talking to John Morgan with Morgan & Morgan, who is like probably one of the biggest law firms in the nation now, as far as for PI law firms. And he was telling me that he got a report every month from the phone company of all the dropped calls. So he knew, but he's always been ahead of the curve. So he knew back I guess 23 years ago, 24 years ago, that this was a big deal,
Yeah.
So maybe I need to introduce y'all to, because he
Yeah,
was thinking about it back then. I'm sure he's thinking about it today.
He's the pioneer. Yeah. I would what I would say to any firm that is looking for a way to just increase revenue and just test something out is, this is not gonna, if it works, it's gonna make you more money. If it doesn't, then you can cancel and you're not out any money.
It's not a big investment.
It's not a big investment, and it still will like improve your call, even if you have a 24/7 call answering service and you say, oh, I'm one of the people that already has that set up. Even if you have that, I mean, clients still like to text. You can put your texting number on, a lot of time you can put your texting number on your web page so that clients know, oh, now I don't have to just call them, I can just text them too.
Hey, I got a little secret for you. Not all these call centers answer the phones every time.
They don't. That's what's crazy. This company, the firm that was missing 10 to 15 calls a week, or 10 to 15 calls a day when they did that audit, they have a call center. So it's like, even if, you really got to dig into the numbers. Like the Morgan guy that you were talking about, he dug in, and I love it when people do that. When they really take a hard look, you're going to always find ways that you can improve. And this is a really inexpensive way to do that.
Okay, good deal. Well, listen, I appreciate it. Anything else that I didn't ask or that you want to talk about?
Not really. I was wondering, I see your polo, and I was wondering if you're an Alabama fan, because it looks a lot like their colors.
I actually had like 5 different colors, and this morning I've been doing podcasts and I've been doing videos for Facebook, and what I do is I got a closet down here in my studio, and I pull out one and do a different deal every time.
There you go.
You have to pull red today.
It's a little show trick.
Yeah, it's
tricks of the trade.
Yeah,
I know. I was watching some highlights, and I was just curious because I'm excited for their next game. They're looking pretty good this year. So.
Oh yeah, they always look good.
They're good every year, but yeah. But no, I really do appreciate you having me on the podcast. I definitely think that this is something that the listeners could benefit from.
Yeah, and that's what we want to do. We want to bring stuff, and whether it be whatever it might be, that will help lawyers grow their law firms, and not missing calls is a hell of a good way to do it, right?
Oh yeah.
That's what I think anyway.
If they're calling you, that's half the battle. That's half the battle right there. Get them to call you.
That's right. So don't screw it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what my dad always says when I'm dating a girl. He said, as long as you don't mess it up, it'll probably work out. So I'm still single, so yeah. He's a smart one. He's a good dude.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's good talking to you, Dave. Go do your wrestling match. Hope you win. And
thank you, Ken. Appreciate it.
We'll catch up with you later, my friend.
All right, we'll talk soon. Thank you.
You have been listening to the Grow Your Law Firm podcast, the podcast that leads lawyers to more growth, profit, and freedom. Go to growyourlawfirm.com to find more ways to market and manage your law firm. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts.